Park.
Greetings and welcome to another Thursday night here at 881 The Park. This is The Scene, the best in local music, or specifically Plymouth Canton Educational Park artists. My name is Nick Brandon. I am the director of the In the Band Music Appreciation Studio, the co-sponsor of this show. We want to thank 881 The Park for having us back here on a Thursday night. This is our March edition, even though our last show was in the first week of March. This is officially our March show. We are very, very excited about tonight's show. It is concert season, if anyone hasn't noticed, here around the Metro Detroit area. Just concert dates just flowing into various schedules. If you check Polestar.com or look at a Metro Times magazine or any resources out there, you will just see that right now is when all of these summer concerts are being announced. So it is fitting that tonight is a night where In the Band is promoting two upcoming shows, both at the Plymouth Arts and Recreation Complex, that we are co-sponsoring, one of which is going to be our yearly benefit show on April 14th. We will talk a lot about that. April 6th and April 14th are two dates that we want everybody listening to mark into your calendars. Make sure you keep those evenings reserved because both are going to be fantastic nights of music, nights that you do not want to miss if you are a fan of the best in local music, which is what we aim to bring you here on Thursday nights here on The Scene. We're going to get into some music here in a couple minutes, but I want to make sure you know that our in-studio guest tonight is the band Michigan Left. We're very excited to have them in studio. Michigan Left, along with another band, Junior High Cheer Squad, actually are both going to be appearing at both shows that I just referenced. So you can see both of those bands on April 6th and April 14th. But tonight, you will hear some music from Michigan Left. We'll talk to the guys and find out more about this band that's very promising, one of the favorite bands, I believe, on the scene right now. And we're very excited to have them participating in these upcoming concerts. But for now, let's get into two bands that are going to be appearing at the April 14th In the Band Showcase. We're going to start with Hilltop Drive, our good friends in that magnificent song called Horizontal. And then after that, we will hear from Keegan Weaver, also known as Me and the Dog with Need. We'll also hear from Abby Sexton, Junior High Cheer Squad, and Cup before the evening is over. And we're very excited again to bring you Michigan Left, which we'll check in with those guys after this first segment. But now it's music time. Let's get things started with one of my favorites, and you know this. This is Horizontal from Hilltop Drive, here on The Scene on 881 The Park.
Dismayed
She said I can't sit and wait while you contemplate. There was nothing left to say. Words that come out of your mouth make me feel so happy, but make me doubt your sanity and your love for anybody else. Oh, the words that come out of your mouth make me feel so happy, but stop the drought that's been welling up in each of the corners of my eyes. And oh, how I love these words, but oh, how I cry as I watch and I pray just to watch you become more and more blind. Don't tell me that I'm all you need, 'cause I'm not the one. The truth is what you need is a father and son. So don't tell me that I'm all you want, 'cause I'm coming undone, watching you fall apart and thinking that this is fun. Oh, the words that come out of your mouth become more and more the more time runs out, and you feel as if you are missing something. Oh, the words that come out of your mouth become more and more the more you start to doubt us. And the problem is, oh, the problem is you think the thing you're missing is me. And oh, how I love these words, but oh, how I cry as I watch and I pray just to watch you become more and more blind. So don't tell me that I'm all you need, 'cause I'm not the one. The truth is what you
Need from Me and the Dog here on the Scene on 88.1 The Park. That was like a 2-song greatest hits for the In the Band Music Appreciation Studio and the Scene, because we heard Hilltop Drive Horizontal, which everyone knows I love. I know we play it all the time, but there's a reason for it. And so much of it is that guitar solo at the end and in the middle. Love it. So good to hear from those guys. And Hilltop Drive and Me and the Dog will both be part of the April 14th In the Band Showcase, which features our in-studio guests tonight, Michigan Left. Welcome, guys.
Hey.
Let's give the full picture here of this show, because this is an epic show, boys. This is an epic show. It'll be Friday, April 14th at 6 p.m. in the Plymouth Arts and Recreation Complex. We are going to have Daddy and the Longlegs, Cup, Junior High Cheer Squad, Me and the Dog, Hilltop Drive, Abby Sexton, and, of course, Michigan Left. Now, guys, isn't that an incredible bill?
Yeah, we're excited to play it.
Might as well
sure.
just be Woodstock. I mean, quite
Absolutely.
frankly.
It might as well be Woodstock. If we did it for 3 days and had rain and all sorts of craziness, then it could
And
just
lots
be
of
Woodstock.
drugs.
Yes, exactly. Then it would be Woodstock, exactly. So we want everybody to come and check out the In the Band Music Appreciation Studio Showcase and Benefit Show. $5 at the door. You pay, you get to hear everybody. All proceeds go to In the Band. Michigan Left, welcome to the studio. It's very good to have you guys here. You guys should know that you're becoming very beloved around the scene. A lot of the bands that come in when we say Michigan Left, they go, I love those guys. So, welcome.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, I had no idea we were that popular, but thanks, guys.
Yeah, well, it's good. It'll keep you guys humble. You know?
Right, yeah.
So let's talk about the beginnings of the band. I know that who we have in studio tonight. I'll just give the introductions. We got Josh Slater, lead vocals, guitar, utility player.
Yellow, how you doing?
Self-proclaimed utility player. We've got Joe Loudon on guitar. We got Seth Huff on drums. And then our representation of the Plymouth Canton Educational Park, Michael Ida, on bass, 11th grader at Canton High School. So, Mike, shout out to you. Welcome.
Thank you.
So, guys, how did the band get started? Tell me about the beginnings and how the four of you, or if there's other members, came together.
Well, it's really interesting, actually, because, like, me and Josh, we've basically been a band for, like, ever since we've been friends. We've just been playing guitar together. He's tried to get me to play drums for him, bass for him, basically just anything. And then we really got kind of serious by senior year. We had this, like, other kid named Jake DeBerry, who he told me is listening, so I'm excited to talk about him.
Love you, Jake.
He was like our drummer, and we were like a trio. And I was a bass player back then. And then it was like we just kept calling guys to come play with us. Jake eventually went to college. And then our bass player, Michael, was like, hey, guys, I got a bass. Can I play bass? And we just like, sure.
What was really funny is that Mike had started off, because like we kind of had pulled these guys together, and Joe was playing bass because we were like kind of a trio with Jake. And we were like, I was like, oh, I got a great rhythm guitar player who could join us. I could get Mike to come and show up. And then, like, after the first practice, he was like, so I'm building a bass. Would you care if I just brought that and played bass? And I was like, Joe, is that cool with you if you do guitar? And we were like, all right, sounds good.
But a blessing in disguise. And, Mike, you know the bass player is the hardest to find.
Yes, they are.
So the fact that you volunteered, and you said you were building a bass?
Yeah, me and my dad, we constructed a bass in our garage during the summer. There's this one specifically that I wanted really bad, but it was super expensive, so decided to build it.
Was it a Rickenbacker?
No, it's called a Gibson Grabber 3.
Oh, those are expensive.
Yeah.
So you built sort of your own version of that.
Yeah.
That is very cool. Not bad for a junior in high school, guys.
Thanks.
So you were lucky to find Mike for all sorts of reasons. You know, he connects you to this scene here at the park, but he builds his own instruments.
Mike has been with us from the beginning, really. Josh grew up with him.
Yeah, and then I came into the picture kind of after Jake had left. Josh and I used to go to the same school. We were friends, and he had just like texted me out of the blue, and we were just like catching up. And he's like, "Oh, I'm trying to put a band together," and like the band I had been in at the time had just broken up. So I was like, "Oh, maybe he'll need a drummer," but I was like, "Oh, he's probably got that all figured out or whatever. There's no way." But I just went for it, and I was like, "Okay, if you need a drummer, just let me know." And he's like, "Actually, that's the one spot I need." So that's how I got involved.
So that's cool. So it all happened pretty organically, and you just kind of found what you needed along the way. How was the chemistry of the band, Josh, right off the bat? Was it something that, you guys all had similar tastes and it kind of fit together right off the bat?
Yeah, like what's kind of interesting is, Seth had mentioned that we went to school together for a while, and it was really like poetic how the whole thing just kind of melted together. Because what was interesting is we all kind of drew a common root from all that classic rock stuff, you know, some of the progressive rock stuff me and Joe were really into. Mike was super into all that classic blues rock stuff with, you know, The Who and Zeppelin and Hendrix. And then Seth here was also super into that, and he had this taste with all this modern rock music that kind of complemented my taste in modern rock because I drew a lot of personal influence from Coldplay. So we kind of like all found, you know, there was kind of a light bulb there that we were all kind of like, yeah, we kind of are in the same sphere. It wasn't like one of us just playing funk and soul and rock and alternative. It was like we're kind of all this weird modern rock kind of mixed with this old bluesy rock kind of conglomerate almost.
Although I do have a higher tolerance for pop music than a lot of the guys in the group, so that's the one like glaring difference. But otherwise, we overlap pretty well.
Every band needs the pop guy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's okay because that's
Yeah.
what keeps you catchy.
yeah,
You know?
it keeps us
When you
keeps you
guys-
guys successful.
When you make millions of dollars, you know,
yeah,
it'll be
it's-
all Seth's.
It's my
Yeah.
It was my idea.
Make sure he gets a higher cut, you know.
What I love about this guy, Seth will literally, we'll be like debating like, oh, should we structure it this way? No, we should do this way. And then Seth will come in and be like, well, since I'm going to be a producer, I'm like, the way you keep the viewer's interest. So we'll
Right,
be like,
yes.
yeah, he's probably right. Okay.
He pulls that
Yeah,
rank on
that's
you, right?
right.
Like, yeah, the producer rank.
Yeah, I will say though, it did take us a little while to find like a group dynamic, just because you know when you first walk into a band, kind of everyone expects everything to go well and everyone's gonna agree with their ideas, and then as soon as you start having other people involved, people are like, oh, I'm gonna have to deal with other people's ideas, and so that took us a while. But now I think we've really just like hit our stride and are like working together as a group really well. So definitely the musical chemistry has always been there, but now I think like our sort of like different personalities are starting to like mesh together really
And that
well.
the best part of being in a band, right? I mean, if not, everyone would be a solo artist. But it is that meshing, it's that kind of camaraderie that comes with being in a band.
Yeah, there's definitely like some bickering that goes on. Some like
It's not that harsh though.
like
Hasn't-
how we're gonna
hasn't
structure
gotten into
the
fist
songs.
fights.
We just like to be like passive aggressive with each other, like silently say I hate you, but I still love you to death.
Yeah.
Every band, you know, is a little bit like a dysfunctional family. But if you make good music, it's a good dysfunctional family. So it all works.
We are a very dysfunctional family. Like we're just saying.
It's a loving arrangement. It's mostly me having a big ego. Like, I'll tell you guys how we should play this. So then they'll be like, wait a minute, no. And I'll be like, okay. all
Yeah,
right."
yeah. Well, look, the key is it's just like a sports team. If you win, everything's fine. And if you make good songs, which you guys do, then everything's fine, right? So that's the payoff.
Thank you.
That's the payoff. So
In
speaking
the
of
end,
which,
we come to a good agreement. I think.
absolutely, absolutely. So now it's time to hear some music from Michigan Left. So take your spots. I'll add in real quickly that this whole relationship began between you guys in the studio because I ran into Josh at a show and I was wearing a Yes shirt.
Oh, man.
And Josh was like, yeah, it's one of my favorite bands.
I
And
was
so
like-
we proceeded to have a Yes conversation, and that was kind of it. That's
was-
all we needed.
Yes. I was like, I
Exactly.
saw the yes, and I was like, yes.
Exactly. So Josh mentioned a lot of different influences. We heard a little history about the band, so now let's hear it in action. So our first in-studio performance from Michigan Left is going to be the song Waves. Is this one you guys will play on April 14th?
I believe so. You'd set up the set, or will it be on the 6th, right?
I don't think we're doing it on either.
Apparently, we're not doing it on either.
But
so
you're
surprise.
You're doing it here, so this will be
Yeah,
great.
We are
So
going to record it though.
Yeah,
fantastic.
it's
All
coming
right.
soon.
Cool. So let's get right into it. So take it away, boys. This is Waves from Michigan Left here on the scene on 88.1 The Park. Go ahead.
All right.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Smiles cakes with jubilation. Steady frenzy took the scene. To her maid's delight, the bride emerged, teary-eyed and dressed in blue. Done well, Samantha, my dear. 'Cause it seems our love was founded on fear.
scampering to snag a seat by the door, fixing my hair that's left unthinned. I divert my glance to the floor. We're done well, Samantha, my dear, 'cause it seems our love was founded on fear, strings of which we'd custom grown, growing old and dying alone. I wash my face and my hands as if to cleanse all those plans made in minds years ago. Two young loves who wouldn't let go. The bells gave ring, she came in with the beauty in full bloom. A smile masked toward the groom I glanced, whose name I never knew.
Right. Waves from Michigan Left here in the studio on the scene on 88.1 The Park. That was great, guys. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Is that a newer song, older song? When did you guys write that one?
That's a really new one. That one we kind of came up with probably, what would you guys say, like maybe a month or two ago?
For sure.
Yeah, I kind of whipped up the chords. It was actually kind of funny. I'm just remembering this now. We were playing at our first show kind of at the turn of the new year. It was like December 16th of 2016. And we'd gotten up stage to do our sound check before we got into gear. And I was just kind of messing around, tuning my guitar or whatever. And I did a bar chord with my index finger and didn't have, the extension on it. And I just barred down that 11th fret. And I was like, oh, it has kind of like a weird thing going with it. So I was like, let's see if I can make like a weird bar chord type thing out of it. And I found the chord right there. And over Christmas break, kind of went home and like sat down with the guitar and kind of came up with the rest of the song. And we got a flow going. And I brought it to the guys. And I was like, hey, what do we think about this? And then everybody was like, yeah, let's do this and that. And kind of came together from there.
Nice. That's impressive. So it was essentially written during a sound check before a show.
Interestingly enough, yeah.
kinda cool.
Like it stuck in my head. And I was like, I got to revisit that.
Nice. Excellent. And have you guys recorded that song yet?
No.
Okay. I know that we'll talk more about what's available right now through recording to make sure that you guys have a chance to have people find out where to find your music. In fact, why don't you talk about that right now? Do you guys have a Bandcamp or something like that?
So you can find our debut EP, which does not have that song on it, unfortunately, but we do plan to record it in the future. You can find it on Spotify or iTunes or Apple Music, or if you're feeling particularly hipster, you can go on CD Baby and purchase it there. But yeah, if you just look for the Forget EP by Michigan Left, it's 5 songs. It's got some really tight ones on it, but yeah.
Also, if you want, you can bootleg our next song that we're going to play.
Just get your phones out
It's
and
a good
record
idea.
it.
That's a good idea, Mike. Yeah. You guys approve. You're allowed taping at your shows.
We're like the Grateful Dead. We're all about as many live recordings as we can.
Yeah.
That's
They'll
great.
be worth a lot one day. We'll put them onto an album and sell it auction it off for millions
Spoken
of
like
dollars.
the true commercial member of the band. Right? It's the pop guy. The pop guy. Excellent.
Yep.
So speaking of that, let's go to a second performance, and I'll let Seth get situated with his special drum down there, which also doubles as his chair. Coffee Pot. Josh, tell us about this song. Is this one that is older or newer, and when did you write it?
This one is actually quite a bit older. I kind of came up with this one. It was probably summer of 2016, so probably June, July-ish. Because like how the song started kind of coming about was I was kind of messing around in my basement recording this, that, and the other thing, and I was kind of stockpiling ideas that I was demoing, and ones that kind of stood out. Like when the band actually showed up, I was like, oh, I should tell them about these tracks I've been working on and whatever. And this was one of the ones that I'd come up with that was a little more recent to when we formed. And I was like, yeah, I should show this to them. And we kind of all jived with it right away. And, we thought it was pretty groovy one.
Mike wasn't at practice.
Oh, Mike wasn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just like me, Josh, and Joe, and we kind of...
That's right.
He was busy building his bass.
Yeah, he was building his arsenal.
His arsenal. Right, exactly.
Yeah,
It
so...
was more like he slept in, I think.
Typical musician.
That's
sitting there.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
But yeah, then I ended up coming up with the drum part and stuff. Yeah. But we kind of jammed around with it, and I came up with the drum, like a different drum part kind of, and so that's kind of when it became a group thing.
Excellent. And it's awesome to hear you guys, because all the practice that you guys have done at the studio is paying off. I mean, you sound great.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, it's
absolutely.
good to hear.
We can hear each other when we mess up now, and the Hawkeyes come out, and we're like, who did it? Who did it?
I can't secretly mess up behind the scenes and play it off.
There was a while there where Joe had like a 20-watt amp. We all had I had a Marshall 50 combo, and then Mike had like a 100-watt Ampeg. And Seth's just this man is like a wild animal on the drums. He looks like Keith Moon when he's playing.
Nice.
And so we were just drowning Joe out, no matter how loud his amp was. So there's a level of lack of accountability, but we realized he was playing fine the whole time.
Boy, he said that in such a nice way, didn't he, Joe? It's like a level of lack of accountability. In other words, you were screwing up too much. Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Well, I expect no mistakes during this performance, so let's go right to Michigan Left with the second in-studio song. This is Coffee Pot here on The Scene on 88.1 The Park. Go ahead, guys.
1, 2, 3, 4. Cupboard above the stove that reinforces all I know. And as I pour the morning coffee in the fashion of midday monotony, as I stand there and I think, and thought I wander as I drink, it tasted much more bitter than those many years ago, when I preferred whiskey and all the dreams to living. Put away all childish things. It's the steaming sting of that bitter brew, the tamer by the day, now sweet and it's smooth, till I could swallow cups with a single gulp.
Michigan Left here in the studio with Coffee Pot. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Make sure you stick around. We are going to right now go into the influences segment. We're just going to do one song tonight. We had a good time chatting, and I know that you guys also chose Jimi Hendrix, All on the Watchtower. So for the record, that was the other song you chose. But we're just going to play the one we had a chance to chat before the show. We talked some influences, talked some King Crimson. I got my King Crimson shirt on.
Oh, yes.
And one of the bands we talked about that has influenced you guys a lot is this next band. I'm not even going to say the song or the name because everyone knows it. So, Bill Keith, why don't we just go right into the song? But here is the influences segment for Michigan Left. This is a little piano ditty written by a dude named Chris Martin. Here on The Scene on 88.1 The Park. But a band that has had tremendous influence on so many young musicians, including our guests, Michigan Left.
It would be pretty cool if we could claim them as a local band.
That'd be really cool.
We could say they started here at Salem High School. but no.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But what we are able to do right now, though, Bill Keith, as I bring in Bill Keith, station director for 88.1, is the Scene Rewind, where we do celebrate some of the past glory of PCEP musicians. And Bill, tonight's selection is a band called The Rising Tide. What do you know about them?
Yeah, these guys were playing in the early to mid 2000s, and one of the members, John Connor, was on the staff of 88.1. So that's how I first heard their music, and we started playing it on the station. I remember back when they were playing, they played at least a handful, if not quite a few shows out at the barn over at Calvary Baptist Church, and I think that was kind of early when that place was becoming quite a venue for local bands. And I can remember seeing the Rising Tide and a number of other bands. It may have been Rising Tide, Which Way Is Home, and some other bands that were playing at the barn, and caught one of their shows and was really impressed. There were two brothers in the band, Evan Baker and Jordan Baker, and Evan and Jordan went on to do Good Luck Varsity, which we should probably do a scene rewind about them, because they actually, when we were doing live performances here one time, we had it all really set up really well, and they were performing in what's now our office, and we had it wired into the studio. And
Was that when you had a full drum set and the whole thing?
it turned out really nicely too. And I think I have some recordings of that somewhere. But Good Luck Varsity was great. And then when Good Luck Varsity ended, Evan is still making music as part of a group called American Arson.
Excellent. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing. I'm just holding a copy of their CD. It looks like a well-done package. And so,
Yeah.
and the song title,
The song titles are outrageous.
they're completely outrageous. So what we're going to hear is a track called Tell Jeremy to Put That Burning Stick Down.
I loved it just because of the title.
It's fabulous. I agree. And whoever Jeremy is, shout out to Jeremy. Way to go.
Yes.
So here we are with the Scene Rewind. So once again, this is The Rising Tide, a kind of mid-2000s PCEP band. And here is Tell Jeremy to Put That Burning Stick Down on 88.1 The Park.
The new 88.1, The Park. It's what downtown Plymouth listens to.
I didn't know what I was feeling. I didn't know that you were stealing every last bit of my empty mind. The night was strong with innocence. You held your head with confidence. How could I not have read the signs?
Abby Sexton with Young Thief here on the scene on 88.1 The Park. That's a debut for this show and for Abby. She was our in-studio guest last month. What an amazing voice she has. She will be part of our show on April 14th. We'll bring back the Michigan Left guys. Guys, you heard the Scene Rewind segment. I thought it was going to be a band you've never heard before, and you looked at the album of The Rising Tide, and you start realizing you know virtually the whole band. So
Basically.
you guys absolutely knew what you were hearing there. I understand that there's a couple of members of that band that went on to be in Good Luck Varsity, and then you guys have a connection there. So that's pretty cool.
It's actually interesting because we know a lot of guys in the band, but we were like, we've never heard of this band, but we know all of them personally.
Yeah, that's cool. And that's a good part, and we talked about this a little off air. You guys mentioned that there's a great music scene here at the park, and that's kind of how it works. You know, it's all interconnected, and you build relationships with other bands, and that's what would be cool about you guys. You know, Mike is your MVP in a lot of ways.
Absolutely. He's the universally most adored member of this group.
That is right. I am.
I want to thank you guys so much for coming in. Want to thank you a lot for using the In the Band Music Appreciation Studio. You guys have been one of our more frequent users, and I feel like that's helped you guys as a band, so thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for having it for our use, and it's an awesome space. And to anybody who is in a group who's wanting to look for an awesome place to practice, please go there because you get tons of work done. You get immensely better. It's awesome.
It's an easy place to be creative. And anyone who's listening who wants to go to two great shows, April 6th at Plymouth Arts and Recreation Complex upstairs in the library. That will be Michigan Left with Junior High Cheer Squad and others. I know Vagabonds will be there. And then a week later, Friday night, April 14th, is our showcase that we mentioned. Michigan Left, Abby Sexton, Hilltop Drive, Me and the Dog, Junior High Cheer Squad, Cup, and Daddy and the Long Legs. It's going to be a great night. So thank you guys so much for coming in. It was fun.
Thank you, man.
And we're going to hear our last song from Michigan Left here. Here is Creature of Habit off the EP. Earlier we talked about all the places you can find it. Just Google Michigan Left Creature of Habit and you'll find the song. Right?
It's a jam.
It's a jam. So here's Creature of Left. Thank you guys so much for coming in here on the scene on 88.1 The Park. Creature of Habit there from Michigan Left. Want to thank those guys for being in studio tonight here on The Scene. Once again, April 14th, 6 p.m. at Plymouth Arts and Recreation Complex. Come see Michigan Left and others, including the next two acts that will take us out tonight. First, we will hear Junior High Cheer Squad with Change, and then Cup with Fresh Time. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Thanks again to our guests. And we will see you again in a month, but hopefully we will see all of you on April 14th and April 6th at Plymouth Arts and Recreation Complex. Again, Nick Brandon with you here on The Scene. Here's Junior High Cheer Squad and Cup here on 88.1 The Park.
Stuck in the past, trying to make things that are gone now last. Well, the weather's the same, and the feelings have changed, and I'm taking the blame. Taking the blame. Waking up just to see your face. Now I'm walking this path at a different pace. Thanks to you, it's your loss.
If this broken heart has taught me anything, it's that change is good.
If this broken heart has taught me anything, it's that the change is good. Well, where are you now? You're in the same place as me. And I've changed, and change is good.
Making Ford Road traffic a little more bearable. This is the new 88.1 The Park.
Thank you.